and then it'll allow you to pull this off somehow. Be a lot easier if this is mounted. Darn it! Blood hand. Ah! Don't do that. Ah. All right, so first thing, testing. I was able to achieve 1.9, it was 1.89 gallons per minute at, I believe, 1100, right around 1000 to 1100 PSI, so 1000 PSI. And I know some of you, your heads are exploding who haven't watched other videos on pressure washing. For your car, this is my subjective preferred pressure. I'm washing a car at around 1000, somewhere between 900 and 1200 PSI is what I recommend. The advantage of having less flow or less pressure is that we get a little bit more flow, right? So this thing did almost 2 gallons per minute, and at an appropriate pressure for washing a car. And so, pressure and flow are relatively directly disproportional, right? So when I increase pressure, I decrease flow, and vice versa. So if I decrease pressure, I in essence am increasing flow somewhat. They're not directly correlated, but it is they do function. Like for instance, if I cut the pressure in half, I don't gain twice the flow. The motor only has a certain amount of output, and so but you will notice a little bit more pressure. A little bit more flow when we reduce pressure. So this thing measured out well, right around that, high 1 something gallon per minute, puts it in a different class versus the entry level stuff. All right, so we end up with something that, or a pressure washer that has high-end like output, high-end for electric, but at mid-end pricing, at $600 or $500 and something for this, depending on, when you're watching this video, let's say $500 to $700, depending on how this ends up. We end up with a machine that does the same output as the high-end ones at mid-end pricing. So this thing, what it comes with a whole bunch of crap that we don't really want. So that's the first hope, is that over time I can convince them to ditch, the foam cannon, the whatever this thinger is that comes with it, whatever this thing for hanging stuff on, weird little 90-degree elbows for stuff. And then of course the wand and gun that's like 40 feet long, right? So I don't think we want this stuff. So when you buy the package, it comes with all of this. It comes in a couple of boxes. That's another thing that I'm hoping to improve over time. The way it comes, there's so much stuff in one box that you may end up with. I've seen some like mine came in, a little jacked up, and so I'm hoping we can iron these things out over time. That it's going to take effort on all parts to get ironed out. We've even dealt with these same issues with Krenza. When you're sending a 50, 60, 70 pound package across the country, in Krenza's case, 85 pound package, we end up with potential issues and potential damage if it's not handled properly, depending on how the day that the guy is having, the UPS driver is having, or FedEx. So this comes with all the stuff and a hose and hose reel. A couple of other little odd things about this, the way it's set up. This comes with a JSC fitting. JSC fittings are designed for hydraulics, like my lift over here. So technically speaking, and I haven't been able to source. What we need to do is we need to convert this, whatever this, I guess it's 1/4 inch. I think it's 1/4 inch NPT, I'm not sure. But we're converting this 1/4 inch NPT to 3/8 NPT. And I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't NPT. So regardless, I'm sourcing a fitting to be able to convert the output of this hose. I think ultimately we want to ditch this hose. I mean, that's my goal, because it's not a bad hose. It's way better than what comes on all the entry-level stuff, but it's not a great option. I mean, this is a hydraulic hose. that's called a Cobra Flex. I'm sure it's, you know, Italian sourced or something like that. But this particular hose here has, you know, it does have some swivel capability here, but it's not the right, you know, it's not the preferred type of hose. I would much rather have this more flexible, more pliable, you know, Cobra Jet hose option, and I'll explain to you in a second here how we would swap it out. But the thing I get here is that a lot of people, when they're, you know, when you're dealing with this, or when you're buying this, you're attempting to keep costs down. Otherwise, you just go buy a $1,500 Krenzel setup that I have. So I understand that it doesn't make sense to spend $600 on this and another $500 on that right off the bat. Now you're over $1,000 to get the thing, to get things set up. And if you buy a hose reel and all kinds of stuff, you know, you're adding up cost quickly. Now you're in the $1,200, $1,500 range. So I understand that kind of defeats the purpose. So initially, I'm going to offer this as it comes. You know, I don't have the option to change things, but eventually we're going to be. I'm going to sell this and swap it out with other stuff. So a couple of other little quirks. The hose reel, you get it here. It's plastic. It works. It does a better job than any of the other entry-level stuff. So again, if we're in this mid-tier option, it's not a Cox hose reel on here. It's not a $200 hose reel with a $200 hose on it, but it's good. You know, it's a good viable solution, a good enough option. As long as we can get it to you without it being broken, that's key. So hose reel then feeds via this jumper hose. So the outlet of this, and we're hoping another wish list thing, is that we're able to convert this to standard size fittings. This comes with an M22 15 millimeter connection point that connects via the little supplied jumper hose into the hose reel. And then we also have this rather odd connection here, which I'm going to end eventually here real shortly, probably by the time this is all up in the store in the next week or so. We really need a 90 on the inlet, because you can see I only have a finger length. So how am I going to get, you know, this hose, my garden hose, connected to this unless it's mounted? So, you know, you're either going to lay it on its side or put it on a box or something like that if you're going to carry this around. If you're wall mounting it, not really a problem. You just bring the water up in, but it is cleaner if we do a 90. You know, it comes with this little 90 adapter, but it's not, I don't think this is what we want. So you could, if you were going to plumb it somehow, you could use this thing, but I don't think that certainly doesn't solve our problem for those who want a turnkey solution. So I put a plug on it, and then we would go plug to coupler. So we put a coupler on our inlet hose and connect it that way. You know, so something that will work on in the future, you know, is possibly changing how this connects. You know, because this thing is pretty viable. I mean, it's heavy. It's 50 pounds with the hose, 55 pounds, something like that, 40-ish pounds. So, I mean, you could throw this, you know, I think this is a great mobile solution. You know, if you're a mobile guy, it doesn't require a whole lot of extra bulk, you know, and different hose reels and stuff like that. So, you know, it is viable, and it draws quite a bit less current than the Krenzels do too. I think I measured around 12 to 13 amps, versus, you know, Krenzels are going to draw 17 or so with the foam cannon. So, for now, this is the way it comes set up like this. Now, we could very easily, if I were buying this, and the Krenzel was just a little bit too much for me. So if I were buying it, what I would do is I would take this thing off. So you can very easily remove the hose reel. Turn this around here. It's going the wrong way with it, so I can easily pop this off. Alright, so here's the hose reel. And then another thing I can do is I can take this handle. I thought I did this already. But you can take the handle off, and I can make this a little bit cleaner solution. It also reduces the weight too. So if I was mobile or if I was wall mounting this and I was going to do this and set this up OG style, I would take this off and I'd put the handle here. All right, pretty slick. Get rid of this bulk and the so-so hose. And then I have a mobile solution. I still have to solve what I'm going to do about the inlet here, right? So you're still going to have to deal with the fact that, you know, there's no option here to get this to sit up higher. So, you know, if I had it on some sort of cart and I had the room here, I could somehow figure out how to set it up so that I could get my inlet hose, you know, into here where I created some space between the floor or the ground and this. So I'd do this, and I'd either do a loose hose, like a loose Cobra Jet here, or I would set up my own hose reel. So I'd get a separate standalone, like a Cox, like the Cox reel I have in my store. So you could mount it above or below, and then you could set up a jumper hose. Either do a jumper hose into your hose reel, or, you know, in this case, if you were going mobile, you could take, and I have to do an adapter here. So this is M22 15 millimeter to 3/8. Because right now nobody makes M22 15 millimeter, at least none that I can source, right to a plug. MTM's working on it, and then I could go and do my my hose here like this. So same thing would happen. You could jumper hose into a better hose reel. But let's just think about this logically. So $600. Hose reel, another $177, another, let's say $125 for a hose, so you're $300. So now you're at $900, and then gun wand, foam cannon, inlet hose, so another $270 or $275. So you're at what was I just at? I was at 900 plus 275 is 1175, plus an inlet hose is, let's say, another $40. So you're 12, you know what, 1215. So you're $1,230 or so to really set this up. But then you have an on-wall solution for $1,230 versus my version with the Mosmatic gun and all of that stuff is at, you're starting at what, $1,785. So, you know, you're $500 difference, and that may put you over the top. So just something to consider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide people with multiple options. You could do Mosmatic gun. You're going to be able to do the MTM, like say the $25 gun, where we're adapting our standard hose reel that comes with it. So what I'm going to do is create multiple solutions for you, so you'll be able to choose. How much do I want to spend? How do I want to craft this? How do I want to build this? We're going to create a configurator with it, just like we did with the other pressure washers, and give you the option to buy whatever you want. The ultimate, so we'll have an ultimate solution where you do hose reel or no hose reel. The beauty of this is, we don't need a shelf. It's a lot easier to mount than the Krenza. Krenza needs a shelf, needs some anti-vibration clamps. This sucker, you can just bolt it right up to the wall, pretty easily. So I think, yeah, what you do, you pop this bracket off. This thing pops off here, and then you just mount it directly to the wall. So actually, I haven't actually pulled this apart to see how that works. Guess, yeah. Should probably learn how to do this. You're seeing me learn this on the fly. I see. Unlock. There we go. So what you do is you push this to unlock. And then it'll allow you to pull this off somehow. Be a lot easier if this is mounted. Dang it! Blood hand. Don't do that. So anyway, you take this, mount it to the wall, and then this slides right into place, like so. I guess these things. Yeah, so these would slide on as well to hold the whole unit in place, keep it from flopping forward. And you could permanently, I see, okay, cool, yeah. So the mounting solution on this is a whole lot simpler than doing something fully custom like some of our other options. On-off switch here, power cord is not as long as the Krensla's, so actually that makes it a little more manageable. So you could either coil it up or you can consider cutting it. What I haven't done is dissected this. And when you have the hose reel off, there's a clear difference in quality between this and the $950 Krensla. So what my hope is longer term is that we could buy it just like this, with this power cord and nothing else. So no connections, just this with a handle like this. And without all this stuff, without the, the swirl brush or the whatever this thing is, without all these other things. It also comes with a power cord loop, which bolts somewhere to this thing. I don't know if it connects to it. It's a good question. I should know the answer to all this stuff before I make a darn video about it. This looks like my very first Krensla videos. I think this is designed to be mounted on the wall. Yeah, you would mount it to the wall to use to mount your power cord. I'm sure someone will correct me on it. Instructions. Not too bad. Shows you how to mount this stuff. This little thinger, which I don't think I would mount to the wall, but you could mount this to the wall to be your wand holder. I'd get a Mosmatic wand holder. But it's certainly an interesting option, and what I'm going to work toward is getting you several different packages. So again, in the store, if you go to obsessivegarage.com, look at the pressure washing tab. I'll have Comet Solutions, Krensla Solutions, Comet Solutions, Karcher Solutions, and then I'll have accessory packages for all the other entry-level pressure washers. The Karcher is going to become the entry. The K1700 is going to become the entry-level option. So we'll have the tiers. We'll have the system built out. So you have entry, medium, high. So good, better, best scenario on pressure washing solutions, and then we'll have for both of them, or I'm sorry, for all three of them, we'll have portable on-wall, portable on-wall, portable on-wall. So I'll have portable solutions versus on-wall solutions. So, enough rambling. I'll have more information. I'm going to pick someone to go mount this at their house. And I don't have anywhere to put it. I'm kind of out of places at my house to do this. So I'll probably go and pick somebody to go do this at their house, do an install video, fumble through it, figure out what's the best solution. Do the same thing I did with with the on-wall solution that I have now that will continue to improve. And then hopefully over time, as you guys buy these things and we build the brand together and make this a more popular solution in the world, that Comet will continue to improve and to listen and to help us craft and make these a more viable, or I don't want to say more viable, but give us more options. Give us the choice. I mean, could you imagine if I could buy this thing for, let's say it was retailed for $450, and then you can choose to do whatever you want with it. Now, we're knocking another $150 off the thing. Now we're at $1,000 all in, full OG setup, full hose, gun, wand, all that stuff. I'm not going to be doing some knockoff crappy guns or anything like that, or knockoff wannabe foam cannons. We're only going to do the legit foam cannon. But one thing I'll probably do is create solution. I mean, this is $25. What good is it to you to buy one that's, this is the MTM, the standard. MTM standard non-swiveling gun is $25. And what's the point of buying some knockoff for $17 or $18 or $16? I mean, spend the night. You're already $500, $600 in. What's another $8 to get the real thing? And so I would say honor the source, buy from the companies that make the stuff, or at least it originated the stuff, just because it's a better product anyway. You could debate whether it gets the job done or not, but this is better. It's simple. And then if you want really good, buy the real deal. buy the full-on solution, either the swiveling stainless MTM or the Suttner-based Mosmatic swivel integrated pressure washer gun. I mean, this is the best on the planet. And so I'm going to give you the options to buy. The only thing I'm not going to give you the option is to buy junk. You know, you're only going to be able to buy, you know, I'm going to pick, you know, somebody has to pick, but I'm going to pick, you know, the solutions that I think will work best for it and work the longest. So anyway, this is the Comet. Stay tuned. I'll put links in the description where all the stuff is going to be. I'll put some cards and stuff in your upper right hand corner of this video, and I'll provide you all the stuff that you need so you don't have to think about it. And then we'll see if we can continue to improve this thing over time. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me and giving me the ability, or affording me the ability to chase this kind of stuff for all of us. Chase and improve and hopefully provide solutions to the people that want them. So anyway, thanks for watching this one. As always, stay tuned for more crazy, more pressure washer stuff, unfortunately. Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.
Dialed in.